Hello again. This is the Waterman audio spiritual toolbox number 34, the learning chapter number 10, audio recording number 352, examination table number 15. And today is the October 19th, 2021, Tuesday. I'll continue today in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 2. Okay. I'll start off by reading it from the King James Version of the Bible. Okay. Verse 2 of 1 Corinthians chapter 10 says, "And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains, and have not charity, I am nothing." Now, I've covered down, and though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries, I am down to all knowledge, and though I have all faith. I'm going to work on that right now. Okay. First of all, that pos right there. The next word, let's get right here so I can get on this right. Yeah, all, and it's, and that one's the same as the other one. 39 and 56, it's pos. It's, all, any, every, the whole. It's, in the Thayers, it's any, every one, of every kind, all manner of. It's, it's in all, everybody, everyone, and it's all your thought processes too. God's working very internally to the external, right? Okay, this all, pos. It's this word. I'll pronounce it again.
Strong's G 3956. Pos. Pos.
Okay. Then the word right after that again, they didn't translate, is that H-O. Ha. I believe is how they pronounce it. In here, it's like ho, but it's H-O.
Strong's G 3588. Ha. Ha.
Okay, it's the definite article. Let's see, that is right? Yeah, definite article. Make sure I was remembering right and looking right there. Let's see here. It means it's like each thought and area of thinking that God's working on. Remember, God's working one area or one thought process at a time in your mind, working internally to the external. Okay, in your mind, all the way down, right down to the basis, to the root of the problem. That old carnal mind, he's getting that out of you. He's burning up that old garbage thinking if you'll just agree in hot pursuit with him in the midst of these storms and trials that he's sending to give you opportunity to come out of this stuff. It's for you again. It's a gift. It's an opportunity. It's not to beat you up and, all this stuff. They just put it down there to put that old king, that carnal mind, that non-spiritual mind, your own reasoning, your own stinking thinking that you were subjected to, not willingly, but in hope. Okay? I think it's in Romans 8. Well, let's go there real quick. I'll have to quote it. Let me look. Hang on. Let's just read verse. I have to read, start at 17. I'm just going to read it. Okay? I'll even read it out of the King James Version. It's just a version. Translation. Okay? Start there, okay? And the children and heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with Christ, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may, you need to look at these words yourself, okay? Be also glorified together, verse 18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory that waited in his character of God, okay? The glory which shall be revealed in us. Remember, God's changing it from the internal to the external. He's burning up that old garbage and then refining, melting out those impurities in your heart, in your mind, in your thought process. He's circumcising the foreskin, that fleshly thinking from your mind as you pursue in hot pursuit, as you agree wholeheartedly with no holds barred. And coming back to you, God. Coming back to you, Daddy, right? Shall we karate chop this board, all of you, son? Yes, sir, Daddy. Let's get it. Right? In a hot pursuit. Not fooling around here. No willy-washy, mish-mouth, baby, sissy stuff here. When the going gets tough, those pressures of life and those fire trials and stuff come on you and press down on you, is so you can get rid of that old stinking thinking by pressing hard right back into God with his ordained thumos. In the King James, they translate a lot of times as wrath and anger. But no. Wrong viewpoint. Wrong perception of that. No, it's God's intense passion and desire to reconcile you back and give you the ability to love him as he loves us. Passionately. Desire. His desire and his passion is, oh wow, yes, do it, baby. Get into this party time. Right in the midst of that old fiery trials or the lion's den or any of this stuff. Don't be hasn't given you a spirit of fear or an attitude of fear. Ooh, coward, ooh. No. It's giving you one of power, love, and a sound mind. Okay? Now, verse 19 here in Romans 8 says, for the earnest expectation of the creature, or the creation, God created you, right? Created that orderly arrangement in the mind of humanity. Okay? Waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God. Okay, let me hang on just a second. Let me check this word here just a little bit. Yeah, that sons right there is weos, number 5207, YHIOS is this word.
Strong's G 5207. Weos.
That's the mature son. You're going all the way from an unborn baby all the way up to brephos, pation, teknon, weos. Okay, all the way up, just like growing up that's grown up. And then going on through that, right back into the pater, the Father. And in the Spirit, there's neither male or female. God is one. He's both. And you as both coming in, you're going right back into Father. So that you're EN and SYN in union with. You're in God and in union with it, a very close relationship. As you go through the eye of the needle, through that, as God's cutting away that fleshly thinking in your mind, in each and every one, whittling that out and transforming it right back into his right-mindedness. Getting rid of your old righteousness, which is filthy, stinking rags. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. What you say? Right? That old woman, that old yuck thinking in you is gone. That Jezebel thing trying to tell you what to do is hitting the road. And that old carnal mind is not your king. That alpha dog is not your king. The alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last, that's the true king. Christ in control of your seeing, hearing, taste, touch, and smell. Okay? It's in your mind that God's changing you. Right down to the root of the problem, which is that carnal mind. To be carnally minded is death. Well, then they're crucifying that fleshly yuck thinking. Read that first part of Romans 8. Okay? No. Alright, let's see. Verse 19 again. For the earnest expectation of the creature, of your creation, okay, waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God, of the mature sons of God, okay? For the creature, or the creation, was made subject to vanity. That's hopelessness. It's just hopeless trying to go under your own might, your own power and stuff, try to overcome this old stinking thinking, your own righteousness, that old non-spiritual thinking, your own carnal mind. It's hopeless without God. Alright, you reach out there trying to get something to satisfy you permanently. You open it up, nothing, maybe some yuck, some poop. Your own righteousness. Ew, yuck, clean that crap off. But whenever you do it with Christ in control, you're seeing, hearing, taste, touch, and smell, it's bringing you right back into the right-mindedness of God. When you pursue in hot pursuit, you're going right back into the right-mindedness of God. Right in these fiery trials, right in these calamities, right in the eye of the needle, where you have to make a decision to God, to agree with God in hot pursuit, or to basically disagree. Anything other than going full bore right back into God, you're disagreeing. Don't matter, good, bad, whatever, it's the wrong tree. It's the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and you shall surely die when you eat that stuff. When you partake in that stuff, you shall fall away. Okay. Now, verse 20 again. For the creature was made subject to vanity, this hopelessness, not willingly, but by reason of him who has subjected the same, that creation, you, me, each one of us, the same in hope. Right? And what is this? Faith. That pistis is going back to the truthfulness of God as you're going through this eye of the needle, hot pursuit. Hope is going back into confidence in God as you're going through the eye of the needle. That conditional love is going right back through the eye of the needle, going right back into that ability to love God in the same manner as He's loving you. You're approaching that. In each and every thinking process, He's cutting it out. Shall we karate chop this board, my child? 1961. Hi-ya! Yes, sir. In hot pursuit. Okay? We'll read a little bit more. But because the creation itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty or freedom of the children of God. No, you're not. That we are all children of the Most High God. Okay. Verse 22. Because we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. Okay. Verse 23. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, in our mind, okay? Not our brain, not our blood pump, thump, thump, thump in the chest. Those are organs. That's fleshly thinking. And polishing the outside of the cup. Okay, like, nah, don't be a better enemy with God, okay? I'll have to cover that on Pharisees. I will. But it has to be in the right timing. Precise, correct timing of God, okay? 23 again, and then I'll stop for now. Right there, and go back to my one text, okay? And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves grown within ourselves. Where? Within ourselves. Again, within ourselves. It's not out there. It's within ourselves. We grown where? Within ourselves. Even in the King James language, it said that. Waiting for the adoption, being brought back into the right-mindedness of God. Out of this old poop thinking, our own righteousness. That stuff that Paul says in Philippians chapter 3, verse 8. I count all things as dung for winning Christ. It's poop, it's dung, scat, animal excrement, that beast nature, the poop of your carnal mind, of your bark, 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 or that hee-hawing donkey, or that old messed up parakeet, turkey, all this. It's unintelligible talk. It can't communicate in the spirit with God. That's prayer, communication, and it's two-way. You're both speaking, requesting, and listening to God, because it's God's will be done, not my will be done. You got to line up with the righteousness of God. If it doesn't line up with the righteousness of God, it's bark, 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 bark. No matter if you think it's a good thing or a bad thing with your own reasoning. See, whatever you ask, you say, nevertheless, Father, whatever your will is, that's what I choose. Yes, sir. Amen. I agree. You are the true hero. I trust you. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. All those thought processes. And lean not upon your own understanding. It's got to be my way or the highway, God. If you don't agree with my old alpha dog, then hit the road. Ooh. That's like shooting yourself in the foot. Or shooting existence. Boom. You're not existing right now. You're disagreeing with God. That's stupid. Yeah, that's like, you're just like eating that all the fruit from the wrong tree. And you shall surely die. You shall be separated from God. Depart from me. Okay? It's not into no everlasting torment crap and, God's a big monster stuff, because he's not agreeing with you in your right-mindedness. You don't change God's mind. He's steady. He loves you beyond words. You're the one in this sine wave. Woo, 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 woo. Right? Good, it's bad. It's good, it's bad. Right? No, line up with his will, and that frequency gets faster and faster. It goes right down into, like, you're going all the way from this, like, radio waves all the way through all the electromagnetic spectrum, through the visible light range from that Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. It's getting a little bit faster, but that's on like 300 nanometers out of over a 2,000-mile stretch. Very, very, almost imperceptible. It's like insignificant. And that's what's based upon that seeing, hearing, taste, touch, and smell by your own physical senses. Oh yeah, it's really out there. No, it's not. There's like in the natural, just because you can't see microwaves, or you can't see infrared rays, or you can't see ultraviolet rays, or X-rays, or gamma rays, or none of these things with your natural eyes. That doesn't mean they're not there. Don't believe me? Go out there, and a light-skinned person, and go out there and just lay out there with no clothes on in the blazing hot sun all day. What does it do to you? It'll burn you. You'll be blistered up, so sunburned. At least I did. Because I played all kinds of sports and stuff when I was younger. Oh, I was always getting burn and peel. My skin just... I played so much sports and stuff, it was ridiculous. Okay? It's just showing you. That... yeah. Okay, or microwave. You stick your food up in the microwave. Just because you can't see it don't mean it's not heating up that food. Okay? That's just a little bit of zip-zap, zingo stuff. Okay? All this stuff, the radio waves. You turn on the radio right there. The radio waves is really, really long wavelength, meaning going from the beginning, from like 0, going up and down. It's real, real slow. Like up and down. It gets back to the beginning. Yeah, it's not talking intelligibly at all. It's all over the place, almost all the time, missing the will of God right there in the middle. Right, but as you get closer and closer, like out towards the gamma ray, seeing the only difference between an X-ray and a gamma ray is where it originates. The gamma ray originates from the nucleus of an atom, right in God. It's representative, right in the mind of God, in union with God. Right, it's really, really fast, and it's like right on. It's basically right on the will of God. An X-ray seems to be, but it originates external. It's based on all these circumstances. It's still not quite there. Okay? And God's doing this in each and every area, or each and every thought process of your mind. And then here you could say, like, from where they got this in there, where it's kind of like hidden. And it's like all the knowledge that this HO, number 3588, it's not even translated in the King James Version. It's like it's invisible to you. Just like most of that electromagnetic spectrum is invisible to your eyes, your natural eyes. But it's real. And see, this is it's each and every area or each and every thought process in your mind God's dealing with. Okay? And this is telling you all this, even though you're getting all these mysteries and all this stuff, this knowledge and all these things, if it's not going all the way back into the right-mindedness of God, into that love beyond words, and you recognizing God, it's going to be nothing in your thinking process. We'll break this down, okay? I was just giving a little bit of an overview there, okay? So each one of those thought processes or areas of the thought process, knowledge, okay? We're down here, let's see, let's get back to where I'm at before I run out of time here. Okay, let's reread that 1 Corinthians chapter 13, okay? And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains, and have not charity or love, this agape, this love beyond words that God has for us, I am nothing. See, it's bringing you back to that ability. Okay? It's God's might, God's power, God's spirit, not your own righteousness. Right? That's who yuck thinking, right? Now, I'll probably have to just start on this. I only got probably about 6 minutes left, but we'll do what we can. See where it goes. Let's see, I'm down to knowledge. It's from 1108 GNOSIS. Translated as knowledge is this word.
Strong's G 1108. Gnosis. Gnosis.
Okay. It's a feminine noun. It's from the etymology of that word, or the root word of that, is from number 1097, okay? In the Thayers, it's your intelligence or your knowing, okay? Now, your intelligence is kind of based upon your own ego, and it's in control of that seeing, hearing, taste, touch, and smell. You're knower, basically. You're married to your own ego, and that's just shit's thinking. Seeing, hearing, with your ego, your eye. Taste, touch, or smell. Get that log out of your eye so you can see clearly. Help get the splinter out of your brothers, your friends, other people's eyes. Okay? And you're knowing, that's the intimate, you're knowing that, experiencing that as you're coming through the eye of the needle and you're coming back into and in and in union with Christ, with God, through using, being in hot pursuit. That knowing is you're seeing, hearing, taste, touch, or smell is married to the Christ, to the anointing of God. You're becoming one with God, one thought process, one area of your thinking process at a time. God's appearing within you as you're overcoming, as you're a cloud. A cloud is an overcoming. God's returning. He's coming back. He's returning. He's making his appearance in you as you're the overcoming son. The child, as you're growing up from this brephos, unborn child, to this nepios, a 0 to like a 2 or 3 year old, a toddler, a baby infant, to a pation, which is like from an infant, 2 or 3 year old toddler, up to like 12-year-old probably in the natural, and then a teknon, a produced child, is like a teenager, and then all the way up to a weos, which is a mature son, like a 30-year-old, and then back into the pater, the father, the parents, because in the spirit there's neither male or female. It's both. God is one. You're being unified. You're coming back into that soundness. You're like that electromagnetic spectrum coming from the radio waves, zoom all the way back into a gamma ray. A gamma. Alright, coming all the way back into to where it's coming from the nucleus of God, from that root where you started. That love that you have is from the root. And it's invisible to this light spectrum, which is a little bitty 300 billionth nanometers. 300 billionth. If you cut 1 meter up into a billion parts, it's 3 of those little bitty parts. 300 of those little bitty parts. It's so imperceptibly, insignificantly small. That's all. That's the whole visible light spectrum. Compare that to that 300 nanometers to like 2,000 miles or greater. And you're getting you see what I'm saying? It's really insignificant. Okay. Alright, now. So you come from it's not by your might, your power, all that stuff, your intelligence. It's from the knowing of God. Coming back into the right mindedness of God. Okay. Now, that's, how do they pronounce it again? It's Gnosis.
Strong's G 1108. Gnosis. Gnosis.
Okay. And that's where they translate as knowledge. Not from your intellect, from that old carnal mind and what you see, seeing is believing, and all this stuff. Not married to that with the ego and control. You gotta give that up. Turn from that crap. From your own reasoning. What you think's good and evil, right? Right? This natural stuff's teaching you about the spiritual, what God's doing inside of you, okay? You go back to the right-mindedness of God. Let God develop that relationship internally in your mind. One area, one thought process at a time. Yes, sir, Daddy. Let's cut this stuff out. Let's skin this junk off of out of my mind. I don't let this stuff condemn you. It's for you, right? Okay? Now, that word comes from 1097. The root of this, right? Getting right down in there. You're going deeper. Going beyond. Okay. That Macedonia to that extended land. Coming from all of that old stinking thinking, that fleshly thinking, and extending, going back into